Welcome to the Crystal Practice Management Optical 1 training. This is the first of 2 videos designed to explain how to set Crystal up so your office can create and invoice glasses orders. My name is Adam. In this training, I will be discussing the admin billing section and the admin defaults frame page default section. Both sections require setup if your office plans on processing glasses orders using the Crystal Practice Management System. To begin, let's first address the admin billing section. As previously discussed in the admin billing video, bill codes are used to charge your patients for the products and services your office provides. If you are a brand new office in the process of setting up Crystal, then you should have received our Crystal recommended bill code list, which has a large number of ophthalmic lenses, materials, and ophthalmic lens treatments. This recommended list of codes gives you the ability to modify the list in Microsoft Excel, as discussed in the Editing the Bill Code Spreadsheet video. If you are a brand new office, it is highly recommended that you complete the work to the bill code spreadsheet as soon as possible. If you have completed modifying the Excel spreadsheet, then you can import the file into the Crystal Admin Billing section at the bottom of the screen with the Import File button. You will be asked if you wish to replace your current list of bill codes. You will want to say yes if you are ready to import the spreadsheet. A window will open, allowing you to search for your bill code spreadsheet file. Once you have found and selected the appropriate file, press the Open button to import the file into Crystal. It is important to remember that the bill code spreadsheet is primarily used for the initial setup of the Crystal Practice Management System. After your office goes live with Crystal, any editing of the bill codes will be done directly from the admin billing section and not on the spreadsheet. This includes adding new bill codes for new products your office wishes to provide your patients, and removing bill codes for products you no longer wish to provide your patients. To add a new bill code for a product that you wish to provide, press the Create New Bill Code button at the bottom left, just below the list of bill codes. This will open the Edit Bill Code window. You will now need to do a number of things to create your new bill code. First, you will need to create a billing code ID no longer than 20 characters and not a duplicate of another billing code ID already in the billing section. The billing code ID can be all alpha, all numeric, or alphanumeric. In this example, I am going to create a new billing code for a progressive lens. The bill code I am creating does not represent an actual product. Next, you will need to come up with a description. The description cannot be longer than 60 characters. Next, you may need to adjust the quantity. It is recommended that for ophthalmic lenses, materials, and add-ons, the quantity be set at 2 and the sales price be set per one item. In this example, I want to sell the pair of lenses for $300 in plastic. I will adjust the quantity to 2 and enter $150 in the sales price field. When the bill code is used to charge your patient, Crystal will calculate the full retail price for the pair on the invoice. Next, you will need to set the appropriate procedure code for the bill code. You will want to make sure you are using the uppercase V for the procedure codes. After you have set the quantity, price, and procedure code, you will need to select the appropriate category for the bill code. Categories are used for reporting purposes on certain reports in Crystal. Next to the procedure code, you will see a number of checkboxes. These checkboxes were discussed in the admin billing video. As such, we will only discuss the options pertinent for optical billing codes. First, the optician staff checkbox is recommended to be enabled. This checkbox is used to assign the initials of the optician to the invoice when an optical order is created and billed for in Crystal. This is also used for reporting purposes to track, on a per optician basis, what the opticians are selling the patients. If the bill code for the product you are creating is a taxable product, then you will want to mark the taxable checkbox. If the product requires a state and sales tax, you will want to mark both taxable and taxable to checkboxes. Marking these checkboxes will allow Crystal to add the appropriate tax rate when the bill code is used to charge your patient. You cannot set the tax rate directly from this Edit Billing Code window. The tax rate is set in the Admin Company section as discussed in the Admin Company video. Once you are done populating the necessary information, you will need to press the OK button at the bottom left of the Edit Billing Code window to save your billing code to the Admin Billing section. The creation of the billing codes for your ophthalmic lenses and ophthalmic lens add-ons is crucial for the optical setup. When creating your billing codes for the ophthalmic lenses, make sure you set the price for the CR39 cost. You will also need to have a generic code for frame sales. If you are using the Crystal recommended bill code spreadsheet, then these are included. The frame bill codes essentially act as pointers to look in the inventory section of Crystal, where your inventory items are stored. We will demonstrate how these frame sale billing codes can assist with inventory control. This will be discussed further in this video and on the next Optical 1 video for creating an invoice in glasses orders. There may be times when you no longer wish to provide a particular optical product. This could be for any number of reasons, like being discontinued by the lab or manufacturer. In this instance, you may want to inactivate those bill codes, so they are not used to charge your patients in future transactions. To inactivate a bill code, you will need to double-click on the bill code you wish to inactivate. This will open the Edit Bill Code window. You will need to press the Inactivate Bill Code button at the bottom of this window. This will open a prompt asking if you are sure you wish to inactivate the bill code. If you are sure, say yes. If you are not sure you want to inactivate the bill code, select No or Cancel. Inactivating a bill code only hides the bill code from the active list of bill codes. Bill codes can be reactivated if needed. This is done by navigating below the list of billing codes and moving the option that says Show Active to Show All. Doing this will show all your bill codes, both active and inactive. Inactive bill codes are in red font. If you wish to reactivate a bill code, then double-click on the bill code. This will open the Edit Bill Code window. In the top right corner of the Edit Bill Code window, you will see a checkbox labeled Inactive. Remove the checkmark from that box and press the OK button at the bottom left of the window. You will now see your bill code went from the red font indicating it was inactive to the standard black font indicating the bill code is now active. Once you have imported the bill code spreadsheet into the Admin Billing section and completed any other modifications to the bill codes, then you are ready to move to the next section to complete the optical setup. This is done in the default section located to the left of the screen. Once you are in the default section, you will see at the top of the screen that you are in a section called Billing Defaults. Click at the top of the screen where it says Billing Defaults. This will give you a list of options to choose from. You will need to choose the first Frame Page Defaults option. The other Frame Page Defaults is for the VSP integration, which will be discussed in the VSP integration videos. Before we begin demonstrating how to edit the Frame Page Defaults section, it is important to keep in mind that this section is only used to set up and modify the spectacle order window your opticians will use to create glasses orders. The spectacle order window allows your opticians to select frame, lenses, materials, and additional add-ons specific to the customer's order. It is also important to keep in mind that the admin billing section we previously discussed is only used to add, edit, or remove codes used to charge your patients for the products and services you provide. Ultimately, you will make these two sections talk to each other, so when glasses orders are created and saved, Crystal will take the sellable product information on the order and import it onto the routing slip, which will ultimately be converted into an invoice. This portion of the training will cover the basics of what needs to be done in order to create glasses orders. There will be additional videos going over some of the more advanced setups, like the RX-specific setup or creating lens packages. These advanced setups are also discussed in our optical setup guide. If you are a new office and the information in your frame page defaults looks different than what is currently displayed on the screen, please contact your assigned trainer or email info@crystalpm.com so we may supply you with an updated file that can be imported into this section. If you are using the Crystal Practice Management recommended bill code list, then importing this file is strongly recommended, as it will help minimize the amount of work needed to set up this section. Once you are in the frame page default section, you will notice a series of buttons near the top of the screen, from Frame Order all the way down to Ship Patient. These buttons allow you to modify various aspects of the spectacle order screen, which again is where your opticians will go to create the glasses orders for the patient. That screen is located in the Patient section in a tab called Prescription, which we will cover in further detail on the second Optical One video for creating an invoice and glasses orders. The top row of buttons have corresponding fields on the spectacle order screen as seen here. You'll notice on the left-hand side of the screen, we are in a section called Frame Order. If you look on the spectacle order screen, that the left-hand side of the screen has a field called Frame Order. If we click inside that field, we get a list of drop-down options. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen, you will see those same options. Modifying the frame page default section is an important part of setting up Crystal for creating glasses orders, and the top row of buttons, from the frame order to the status button, will need to be modified to reflect the products you provide your patients. To begin, let's first discuss the frame order section. In this section, you'll need to have values that coincide with what your office considers acceptable reasons for supplying a frame for a glasses order. This might include values like frame sale, special order frame, or frame warranty. In this frame order section, you can add or delete values as needed. On the screen, you can see a value on the left-hand side that says Progressive Non-Adapt. If you wanted to remove this value because it did not coincide with what you deem to be a reason for supplying a frame for an order, then you would highlight that value and press the Remove button at the bottom of the screen. Once you press the Remove button, the Progressive Non-Adapt value will be deleted from the list. To add values to the frame order section, press the Add Item button. Once you click the Add Item button, a small window will open allowing you to enter the new value you want to add. Type the value you want to add inside of the box and press the OK button to add the value to the list. Any values you add will appear at the bottom of the list. You can customize the order of the list by highlighting values and either pressing the Up button or Down button. You can also alphabetize the list by pressing the Alpha button. When you're done creating the values you want in this section, you may need to link a corresponding frame sale billing code to the value. To do so, click on the value that will coincide with the frame sale, then press the Add Billing Code button located at the bottom of the screen. Once you press the Add Billing Code button, a billing code search window will open allowing you to search for your billing code. You can search for the billing code by the billing code ID, the procedure code, or the description of the billing code. In this example, I am searching for my sunglass frame sale billing code by entering the description in the search description box. You will notice that after I put in the appropriate description, I get a list of possible billing codes I can use. For this example, I will select the RX Suns frame bill code from the list. And then at the bottom of the billing code search box, I will press the Select button. After the Select button is pressed, the bill code will be linked to the value in the list. The only bill codes that need to get linked to values in the frame order section are those bill codes that correspond with a frame sale, where the inventoried item will either be removed from inventory or simply recorded as a frame sale if the frame is a consignment frame. This procedure for linking billing codes will be used throughout most of the sections in the frame page defaults area. The next area we will discuss will be the lens type. In the lens type section, you will want to list all of the basic lens types. As you can see in the example, I have my lens types listed as single vision, bifocal, trifocal, progressive, and near variable focus. The setup for this should be simple, as the values listed in the example are essentially the basics of lens types. No bill codes will need to be linked to the values in the lens type section. In the next section called Description, we will list the product-specific lenses that correspond with the lens types and link bill codes to those values. In the description section, you will want to list the product-specific ophthalmic lenses you provide your patients and link corresponding bill codes to those values. It is recommended that when you link bill codes in this section, that you link the bill codes that correspond with the CR39 cost for that specific lens. Material add-ons are done in the next section called Material. Once you get into the description section, you will notice 3 columns that have information. A value column, which has the specific names of the lenses your office provides. A billing code column, which should have bill codes linked to corresponding values for the lenses you provide. And a linking column that is used to classify the lenses with the corresponding lens types. You will also notice in the example, I have certain values that have bill codes linked next to them, and certain values that do not have bill codes linked next to them. The reason for this is because after the Crystal recommended bill code spreadsheet was imported into the admin billing area, Crystal automatically updated the frame page default section. Values that do not have bill codes linked next to them in theory should represent lenses you do not provide your patients. The reason these values do not have bill codes linked next to them is because the billing codes were removed from the spreadsheet prior to importing the spreadsheet into Crystal. If you notice any discrepancies in this section after importing the Crystal recommended bill code spreadsheet, please contact your trainer immediately so that an updated frame page default setup file can be imported into this section. If you are using our recommended bill code spreadsheet, then the work that is needed to be done in the description section should be fairly minimal. Essentially, you will need to remove values that do not have billing codes linked next to them. This is done by highlighting values and pressing the Remove button at the bottom of the screen. If you notice that there is a lens in this section that you do provide and there is no bill code linked next to it, either the bill code was removed from the recommended spreadsheet prior to importing it into Crystal, or the bill code ID for that particular product was changed prior to importing the recommended bill code spreadsheet into Crystal. If you notice there is a product in the list that you do provide but does not have a billing code linked next to it, and you believe you have a bill code created for the product in the admin billing section, highlight the value, then press the Add Billing Code button at the bottom of the screen to search for the bill code. Pressing on this button opens the Search Bill Code window. This window allows you to search for the bill code either by the bill code ID, procedure code, or description. Click inside the appropriate search field and enter in the information. Once you have found the appropriate bill code, make sure to select it in the list and press the Select button at the bottom of the bill code search window. You will now notice you have a bill code linked next to the value. Again, this procedure for linking billing codes will be used throughout most of the sections in the frame page defaults area. If you are unable to locate the bill code from the bill code search window, then you'll need to navigate into the admin billing section to create a bill code for the product. Once the bill code has been created, you can navigate back into this section to link your billing code to the corresponding value. Earlier in the training, I had created a new bill code for a new product I wished to sell my patients. That product name was Progressive XYZ. Creating bill codes in the admin billing section does not create a corresponding value here in any section of the frame page defaults. This means if you create a new bill code in admin billing for a new product you wish to sell your patient, you will also need to create the corresponding value for that product here in the appropriate section in frame page defaults. I will need to add Progressive XYZ to my current description list. To do this, we will need to press the Add Item button at the bottom of the screen. This will open a window allowing you to type the name of your new product and save it to your existing list. You will notice that the new product name is at the bottom of the list of lenses, and there is no bill code linked next to it. You will need to do this manually. Press the Add Bill Code button to search for and select the appropriate bill code. Once the bill code has been linked, You may wish to categorize what kind of lens it is. This is done in the linking column. To do this, you'll need to press the Add Linking button at the bottom left of the screen. Once you have pressed the Add Linking button, an Add Links to Default window will open up. You will notice that there is a check mark in the very first checkbox. You will need to remove that check mark from that checkbox and put the check mark in whatever the correct lens design is. In this example, it's a progressive, so we're going to remove the check mark from the first checkbox and put it in the progressive checkbox. Once you are done, you can press the Save button to finish categorizing your lens. Removing values for lenses you no longer wish to provide to your patients, creating values for new products, linking corresponding billing codes, and classifying lens descriptions to lens types is something your office will do periodically. Once you have listed all your product-specific lens types, linked the appropriate bill codes, and classify the lenses with the Add Linking button, you can navigate to the next section called Material. In the Materials section of the frame page defaults, you will want to list all of the different lens materials you offer your patients. When creating your material values in this section, please keep in mind your billing structure for material upgrades. If you charge a flat rate fee for material upgrades, from single vision to multifocal to progressive, then you will only need to create individual values for each of your material upgrades and then link the corresponding billing codes. If you charge different fees for material upgrades based on single vision, line multifocal, and no line multifocal, then you will need to create multiple values for each material except plastic, then link the corresponding billing codes. If you have further questions about this, please email info@crystalpm.com or adam@crystalpm.com. The next area we will talk about will be tint. In the tint section of the frame page defaults, you will want to create values for your tints and link corresponding billing codes. In this section, you can get as specific as you want. In the example being shown, I have listed all of the most common types of tints to include gradient and solid tints. The next section we will discuss will be the edge section. In this section, you will want to create values that correspond with the different edge treatments you provide your patients. In this example, you can see I have listed some common lens treatments I offer my patients and have linked the corresponding billing codes to those values. The next sections we will discuss will be the sections labeled Coding 1, Coding 2, and Coding 3. In the coding sections of the frame page defaults, you will want to create values for all of the coatings and add-ons you provide your patients. In the example here, you will see that in Coding 1, I have listed all of my anti-reflective coatings and scratch coatings and linked the corresponding bill codes to those values. When I expand the billing code column, you will notice that some of my anti-reflective coatings have 2 bill codes linked. This is done to represent the backside UV that some of the anti-reflective coatings have. In order to link 2 bill codes to a single value, link the first bill code. After the first bill code has been linked, press the Add Bill Code button again. This will open the bill code search window, allowing you to search for another bill code to link. In Coding 2, I have listed all of my photochromic and polarized lens options and linked the corresponding bill codes. You will need to make sure you remove any of the options you do not provide your patients. In Coding 3 and Other, I have listed all of my optional add-ons and linked the corresponding billing codes. Having duplicate options in these sections will allow you to properly document these extra services on the order the opticians create. We will discuss this in the next Optical video, which will demonstrate how to create and invoice orders for your patients. Next is the Statuses tab. Statuses are used to denote what stage the glasses are in during the ordering production process. In the Status section of the frame page defaults, you will want to create all of the various status changes glasses go through. In the example provided here, you can see I have a list of values that correspond with the general statuses of where my glasses orders might be during production. It is important to note that Crystal does not automatically update the status of the jobs in the Spectacle Lab order window. Statuses must be changed manually as the glasses go through the production process. Updating the status is an important part of the glasses production process. Keeping the status updated and accurate will allow you to run reports to see where the jobs are in the production process. Going through and setting up the frame page defaults as demonstrated in this video will allow your staff members to create Spectacle Lab orders and then have the order information pulled from the order into the routing slip, which can then be turned into an invoice. This setup will help speed up the process for creating lab orders and the subsequent invoice for that lab order. We will discuss this process in the next video. The items below the first row of buttons are discussed in the Optical Setup Guide. Again, if you are a new office using the Crystal Practice Management recommended bill code list and have completed modifying the spreadsheet and have imported it into the admin billing section of Crystal, please reach out to your trainer so they can import the frame page default setup file to help expedite the initial optical setup. In the next video, we will discuss the ordering and invoicing process for your glasses orders.